Buddhism, with its long history and deep teachings, has timeless lessons that can change how we live. These aren't just theoretical ideas, they are practical tools to help us navigate challenges, build resilience, and inner peace. Here are some of the most useful lessons from Buddhism explained in a way that speaks to the heart and mind. The nature of suffering. The first lesson the Buddha taught is the nature of suffering, dukkha. Everyone at some point faces difficulties, losing a job, a breakup, or illness. Rather than avoiding or denying suffering, Buddhism encourages us to face it. The Buddha himself was born into luxury as a prince, but despite all his comforts, he saw that no one was immune to suffering. He saw aging, sickness, and death in the world, and knew that wealth couldn't protect him. So he left the palace and went in search for a deeper understanding of life. By acknowledging suffering, we open ourselves to personal growth. We can learn from every difficult moment instead of running from it. For example, think of a time when you went through a painful experience, like failing at something important to you. By reflecting on that moment, you might realize that the failure actually made you stronger and more resilient. Embracing suffering allows us to grow. Everything is impermanent. Another of the main teachings of Buddhism is the principle of impermanence. Nothing in life is permanent, not our feelings, not our possessions, not even our loved ones. By recognizing this, we can stop clinging and find peace. Imagine holding on to a cup of water. At first, it's easy, but after holding it for a long time, your arm starts to ache. The cup becomes heavy. The same thing happens when we hold on to relationships, jobs, or material possessions too tightly. Eventually, they become burdens, especially when they change or end, as all things do. When we learn to accept impermanence, we are free from the need to control everything. One story that illustrates this is of a wise Buddhist monk who held up a glass of water and said, "This glass is already broken." What he meant was that although the glass is fine now, it will break, as everything does. By accepting that, we enjoy things fully while they last, and let go gracefully when they don't. Nonattachment. Buddhism teaches nonattachment, which means not clinging to things or people in a way that causes suffering. This doesn't mean we should live without love or passion. Instead, it encourages us to live fully without the fear of losing what we hold dear. Think of a mother bird caring for her chicks. She feeds them, nurtures them, and protects them, but eventually she lets them fly away. Her love is real, but she doesn't cling to them because she knows they must grow. When we love others, non-attachment means giving them space to grow and accepting that change is inevitable. Non-attachment also applies to our expectations. We suffer not because of what's happening, but because things didn't go the way we wanted. By letting go of our rigid expectations, we remain open to life's surprises and challenges, embracing both the good and the bad without unnecessary pain. The middle way. The Buddha taught the middle way, a balanced approach to life. Before he attained enlightenment, he experimented with extremes, first living a life of indulgence in his palace, and then practicing severe asceticism, starving himself nearly to death. Neither brought him peace. He realized that true wisdom lies in balance, not in overindulgence or extreme self-denial, but in moderation. This applies to many areas of our life. Think of work, for example. If you work too much, you burn out. If you work too little, you may feel unproductive or unfulfilled. The middle way teaches us to find balance, to work with dedication, but also to rest and enjoy life. The middle way is about understanding that happiness doesn't come from chasing extreme pleasures or punishing ourselves, but from walking a path of balance, mindfulness, and moderation. Mindfulness. One of the most important teachings from Buddhism, especially in today's world, is mindfulness or sati. It's the practice of being fully present in each moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. The story goes that Buddha once asked a group of monks to sweep the temple grounds. As they did, he encouraged them to be mindful of every movement, how the broom felt in their hands, the sound of the sweeping, the breeze on their skin. By focusing completely on the task, they entered a deep state of calm and presence. In our busy multitasking world, it's easy to get distracted by what's next. But by practicing mindfulness, we can fully engage in what we're doing right now. Whether it's eating a meal, listening to a friend, or taking a walk. Mindfulness helps us savor life and respond thoughtfully to situations rather than react impulsively. Compassion. Compassion is another fundamental teaching of Buddhism. The Buddha taught that recognizing the shared suffering of all beings, we naturally develop a heart of compassion. He told his disciples to treat everyone, even those who hurt them, with kindness. One of the most beautiful stories of compassion in Buddhism is that of Angulimala, a notorious bandit who killed hundreds of people. When the Buddha met him, he didn't fear or condemn him. He treated him with compassion. Angulimala was so moved by the Buddha's kindness that he gave up his violent ways and became a monk. Compassion can transform even the darkest of hearts. We can practice compassion in our daily life by being kind to others and ourselves. Small acts like smiling at someone, listening with empathy, or helping someone in need create ripples of positivity. Compassion doesn't just heal others, it heals us too. The power of letting go. The final lesson is the power of letting go. In Buddhism, this is tied to the idea of non-self, the concept that there is no permanent, unchanging self. Much of our suffering comes from clinging to a false sense of identity, whether it's our ego, our roles, or our possessions. One of the most powerful stories illustrating this lesson is of two monks walking along a river. They come across a woman who needs help crossing, and one of them carries her across. Hours later, the second monk is upset and says, "I can't believe you carry that woman. We're not supposed to touch women." The first monk replies, "I left her at the river hours ago, but you're still carrying her." Letting go means not holding onto anger, guilt, or attachments that weigh us down. When we let go of our need to control our fears and our attachments, we make space for freedom, joy, and peace. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about trusting life and releasing the burdens we carry. Buddhism teaches us to face suffering with courage, to embrace impermanence, and to live with balance, mindfulness, and compassion. Its teachings are universal and apply to every stage of life. By letting go, practicing mindfulness, and developing compassion, we can navigate life's ups and downs with ease and grace. These teachings aren't just for monks or spiritual seekers. They're for all of us to live more peaceful and happy lives. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.